Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first experience of you listening to Coach K in his Math Corner talk to you about math. Today's objective is I will be able to add and subtract decimals. I know I've got it when I can correctly answer at least 2 of the 3 exit ticket questions. And here we go. Our very first part is you should have notes. Number 2, you need to go to your interactive student notebook, and you need to create pages 5 and 6. You're going to write the title and the page number in the table of contents, and that's something we haven't talked about yet, so don't worry about that yet. But you're going to go and number these at the bottom of your paper, 5 and 6, and you're going to write the title on page 5, just like we did on pages 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, okay? All right, and these are the notes that you should have with you right now. They're over in the brown organizer by the window. Alright, very first thing we're going to do is fill in some blanks here. When you add, you line up the decimals. Add zeros if needed. Add from right to left. Bring decimal straight down. If the decimal is not in sight, it is on the right. Again, as I am talking, I may go faster than what you can keep up. If you need to pause the video, pause it. But you need to get these notes taken today and get started with your exit ticket and your assignment. Here we go, next part. Our first example is 56. And I remember our notes. Remember, we want to know how to add and subtract decimals fluently. And remember, in our previous notes, we wrote, if it's not in sight, the decimal point that is, it is on the right. And then I have to add zeros. And I'm going to line those decimal points up when I add. And I probably should add a 0 there too. And 2 plus 0 is 2, 4 plus 0 is 4. Decimal point comes straight down. 6 plus 9 is 15. 1 up there. 5 plus 1 is 6. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your sum. Here we go. Next part. Again, remember, we want to add fluently decimals and subtract fluently decimals. All right, here we go. Example number 2. 412 and 39 hundredths. Remember? Line up the decimal points. Line them up. Line them up. That is such an important concept. Now we want to add zeros wherever we need to. 0 plus 1 is 1. 9 plus 5 is 14. Carry the 1. 7 plus 3 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. Carry the 1. Remember, bring your decimal point straight down. 10 plus 1 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 4 added to 0 is 4. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your sum. Next part, we need to take a few notes on subtracting. Blank up the decimals. Line up the decimals. Add zeros if needed. Subtract from right to left, just like we always do. Bring the decimal straight down, and if the decimal is not in sight, it is on the right. That is so important to remember. It'll make your job easier. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our first example of subtraction, 19 minus 12. If it's not in sight, it's on the right. I need to add zeros. 12 and 42 hundredths. I cannot subtract 4 and 2 from the 2 zeros, so I have to borrow from the 9, make that an 8, make this 0 right here a 10, cross it out, because I'm going to borrow from this 10 to make this 10 or 0 a 10. Alright, do not borrow from the 10. 10 minus 2 is 8, 9 minus 4 is 5. Bring the decimal point straight down, 8 minus 2 is 6, and 1 minus 1 is 0, so I don't have to put it there, but if I want to, I can, or you don't have to. It doesn't matter. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your difference. All right, moving right on. Here we go. Our next example is 23 and 54 hundredths minus 9 and 71/100ths. Remember, you always need to line your decimal points up. 4 minus 1 is 3. We cannot say 5 minus 7. Borrow from the 3, make that a 2, put a 1 here. 15 minus 7 is 8. I can't say 2 minus 9, so I'm going to borrow from the 2, make that a 1. 12 minus 9 is 3, and 1 minus 0 is 1. That, ladies and gentlemen, is our difference. Alright, moving right along, we're going to the next part. Hey, look at this. Whiteboard. Whiteboard practice. Pick up a whiteboard, complete these 3 problems, and show it to me. Show it to me, okay? Alrighty. So you have to do these 3. You can pause the video, copy these down, solve them. When you get all 3 done, bring it over to me or raise your hand. I'll come and see it, okay? Next part. After you are finished with the whiteboards, and you show me and I okay it, go get the assignment number 2. It's over in the organizer, alongside by the window. You're going to complete problems 1 through 7. You're going to check your work with the answer key on the counter. You're going to use a marker to assess or grade your work. Be sure to take a picture using Photo Booth, and I'll show you that, and turn it into Canvas, and I'll show you that as well. Okay? Now it's important that you realize that taking the notes and doing the homework, or doing the assignment and the exit ticket, you have to have that done today or tomorrow. Alright, and we've already talked about that. Moving on, when you're done with some of your assignment, or the first 7 problems, or whatever the case may be, you are to then finish your exit ticket. Number 2, again, that is over in the brown organizer by the window. Okay? You need to get 2 of the 3 correct or more to show me that you understand what you're doing. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. When you are done with the exit ticket, you need to take a picture and make sure that picture is also on Canvas. Alright? If I cannot read it, if I cannot see it or understand what you've written, well, let me back up and state that again. If you, when you take the picture, if you do not think that the writing is clear and you can't read it from the picture you take it again, because if you can't read it, I can't read it. No way can I. Alright, so let's go over that again. Make sure to take a picture of your worksheet and exit ticket. Turn these into Canvas under the correct assignment or exit ticket. Look at your picture before you submit it. If you can't read what it says, neither can I, and that's extremely important. Again, if I go too fast on any of these videos, you stop, pause them, and get caught up and stay on task. That's my expectation, ladies and gentlemen. That is your first video. Hallelujah, Mr. Colvin, I'm done. Alright, maybe I get a little too excited.